Hello, and welcome to Hacking Web Applications. My name is Muharrem, and I'm a computer engineer and cybersecurity expert, and I will be your instructor. Throughout the course, you're going to learn how to find out the vulnerabilities in a website, how to exploit the vulnerabilities and hack the application, and how to secure your application from these attacks. First, let's get prepared for the course and talk about some technologies and standards used in web applications. We need to learn how to collect information about the website. We're going to have to learn as much about the application as we can, and while discovering everything about the website, we analyze the configurations of the mechanisms used. We collect everything we find and try to use them to hack the app. The vulnerabilities and attack methods are classified according to OWASP. OWASP is Open Web Application Security Project, and one of the most important communities out there regarding application security. We manipulate inputs and push the application to produce unexpected outputs. Then, we compromise the authorization, authentication, and session management mechanisms of that application. So, before we begin, we should prepare for the course and for the hands-on practices we will perform. Now, throughout the course, we will use two previously prepared devices. Broken Web Applications is a virtual machine that hosts a lot of applications specifically prepared for training purposes. Kali is a Linux distribution prepared for ethical hackers. Kali includes a lot of useful and free-to-use hacking tools, and we're going to use some of these tools. Now, if you don't want to use Kali for some reason, you can download the tools that we use, install it onto your host machine, and use them. You can use any virtualization platform such as Oracle VirtualBox, VMware Player, or Fusion. Now, first of all, since there are a lot of vulnerabilities in it, do not use OWASP Broken Web Applications Virtual Machine in bridge mode. If you use it in bridge mode, it will be accessible in the network where your host machine is. Someone in that network might hack the VM and try to access the host machine, which means your computer. Just a bit of a note here, while using the virtual environment, the virtual machines should be in the same network so that they can see each other. We're going to use virtual machines in NAT mode. If you're using VirtualBox because of its architecture, you should create a NAT network. If you use a VM in NAT mode without configuring any NAT network, a network is created for that VM, and the VM doesn't see other VMs even if they are in NAT mode. So go to VirtualBox Preferences. Select NAT Networks under Network segment and create new NAT network. Then go to VM. In Adapter 1 tab under Network segment, attach the VM to NAT network and choose the NAT network you created. If you are using one of the VMware tools, VMware Player, Fusion, or Workstation, using NAT mode for network interfaces will be enough for the VMs to see each other. Now, if you would like to use VMs in host-only network mode, please learn how the virtualization platform works in that mode. Before we start, let's make sure that the virtual machines can see each other. Start the virtual machines and log into them. If you didn't change the credentials before, you can log in with the default credentials. The default credential of the Kali is root as the username and tour as the password. And the default credential for OWASP BWA is root as the username and OWASP BWA as a password. First, let's learn the IP address of each virtual machine. Because they are both Linux distributions, we can use the ifconfig command to learn the IP addresses. Open a terminal screen. In OWASP BWA virtual machine, you are already in the terminal screen. Type ifconfig and press Enter. The IP address, which is seen in the ETH0 interface, is what we want. And then ping the other VM. You should see a terminal screen similar to the terminal window seen on the slide. At least packet loss shouldn't be 100%. So if you don't get that result, please check the virtual machine settings again. The IP addresses of the virtual machine should be in the same IP block, which means if one of your virtual machines has an IP address like 172.16.99.123, the IP address of the other virtual machine should be like 172.16.99. Whatever you want. In this phase, you should be able to reach the OWASP BWA application inside your Kali machine. So go to Kali, open Firefox browser, and type the IP address of the OWASP machine with the HTTP prefix. If you don't want to memorize the IP address of the application to enter each time, or if you want your test more realistic, you can give a domain name to your application. Go to /etc/hosts file and enter a line for the application machine, IP address of the application, space, the domain name to reach the application, save the hosts file, and close. Now, you can reach the application with the domain name you gave in hosts file.